Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention?
Showtime. It's showtime.
It's showtime.
Showtime!
Round up the usual suspects.
We take films really seriously.
Serious. You talking to me? You talking to me?
I get 6 out of 10, but you can't handle the truth.
You can do it!
It's also really serious.
Yeah, baby! Yeah.
Thank you so much. I have so many questions. Where do I come from?
You just have to decide what kind of man you want to grow up to be, Clark. Whoever that man is, he's going to change the world.
My father believed that if the world found out who I really was, they'd reject me. That the world wasn't ready. What do you think?
Yep, I'm gonna be smiling like a little boy this week because I'm a huge Superman fan. When I was in primary school, I used to rush home to try and catch Lewis and Clark at 5 o'clock on SABC2. I've watched 10 seasons of Smallville. I've got the comic books. I've watched the animated movies. I've got the t-shirt. I've even got the underpants. That's how much of a fan I am. So Man of Steel, Kal-El, Superman, Clark Kent, whatever you choose to call him, he's back. And he's kicking some serious ass in this movie. Now, before I begin, I think it's important to make you aware that this is Man of Steel, not Superman. The word Superman has been taken out of the title, and with good reason, because Superman conjures up stuff like the Red Tides, Kryptonite, Fortress of Solitude, the Daily Planet, Lewis Lane. Most of those things have either been taken out or reworked and reinterpreted. And that's actually what this movie is. It's a reinterpretation and a modernization of the character we all love. Kind of like what Dark Knight did for Batman.
For some, he was a guardian angel.
And it's no surprise really, because Superman is also a DC comic book like Batman, and why wouldn't you want to emulate the success of the Dark Knight on Superman? And that's exactly what they did. They got Christopher Nolan, who wrote and directed Dark Knight, and he's on this one as a writer and producer. In the director's chair, Zack Snyder. You might know him and you probably love him. He did 300, he's done Sucker Punch, he's done Watchmen. He's a very CGI, action-loving director, and man, does he bring a lot of action to this movie. Now, this is an origin story, which I'm sure we are all familiar with. Doomed planet of Krypton, father puts his son in the ship, sends him to Earth. He lands in Smallville, gets found by the Kents. They take him in and raise him. He grows up feeling different, alone, and lost in the world until he comes across some crystal that leads him to his real father, who teaches him who he is, why he's here, and then he puts on the red, blue, and gold with the kale, and then he starts kicking some ass. But like I said, it's a reinterpretation, so of course they added some spices just to boost that flavor, you know. For example, Clark in this movie is 33 years old, which is a bit more older than we used to seeing him. Like in the Christopher Reeves movie, he was in his 20s. In Smallville, he's around 16, 17. So this Superman is less naive and a little bit more mature. A really nice touch as well is the suit, which has been tied in with the whole Krypton universe rather than the suit being made by his mother, as we've seen in comic books and Smallville as well. What I really like though is what they did with the character of General Zod. Now, Zod has always been portrayed as a villain who's just power hungry and who wants to come to Earth to enslave humans because he feels that they're beneath him. But in this movie, they actually give Zod a noble reason for why he comes to Earth and why he wants to kick Superman's ass. It's kind of like an anti-hero thing, which is really nice touch.
You believe your son is safe?
I will find him!
Need I say, there are so many things to love about this movie. I could talk about the action. I could talk about the casting. I could talk about Hans Zimmer's score. My favorite thing though has to be Russell Crowe as Jor-El and Kevin Costner as Jonathan Kent.
You're the answer, son. You're the answer to Are We Alone in the Universe?
Can I just keep pretending I'm your son?
You are my son.
Now these are two very pivotal characters in shaping who Superman becomes. And I love how Russell Crowe's portrayal of Jor-El is not just a scientist but as a warrior as well, willing to get his hands dirty and save his son and try to save his doomed planet.
You will give the people of Earth an ideal to strive towards.
So what bugged me about this movie? I feel like the magic happens in the first half. There's so much great story there, the introduction to the characters and the emotion that they're all going through. And in the second half, it goes into like an oversaturation of explosion, action, fight sequences, which is awesome of course, but it did detach from the characters a little bit and started feeling like a generic action blockbuster movie. Now, this next point is gonna be a bit of a shocker coming from me, but it's gotta be said. Where's the romance? I mean, if you've read the comics, you'll know, or if you've even seen the cartoons, you'll know the lengths that Superman goes to ensure Lois's safety. And the reason for this is obviously because Lois makes Superman feel human. She makes him feel like a man, something Superman never thought he would ever feel. And on the other hand, he sweeps Lois off of her feet and takes her breath away. Henry Cavill and Amy Adams just didn't have the chemistry that I was looking for from Lois Lane and Superman. So this movie will get a 7 out of 10 from me. Good, entertaining movie with so many good things going for it. Much stronger film than its predecessors, and I feel like there's finally a good foundation to build a beautiful franchise. If they can just delve deeper into those core qualities that make Superman who he is and his romance with Lois Lane, then we have a winner with this movie. So go ahead and watch it. You tell me what you think. Wear your shirt, wear your glasses, wear the cape, man. Go show some love for Superman.